What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy IC Jonez. Another episode of Hot Seat with IC Jonez. New spot. We are here at Room Service Radio. What's happening with it? We got Deacon T in the building. You already know.
Hey.
Deacon T's Hot Topics will be here. And today I got a special guest in the building. We got Mike Chambers with us today. What's happening, man?
Yeah. What's going on, Vegas? What's good?
How you feeling today?
I'm chilling, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me, bro.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to have you in the hot seat, man. We're going to get into some music. We're going to get into some of your life, man, some of your artistry, bro, and what you got going on in life, bro.
Man, there's a whole lot of God bless stuff. I'll tell you that right now.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
So when it comes to who you are, man, who do you want the people to know as the introduction? Who is Mike Chambers to Mike Chambers, man?
Well, first of all, Mike Chambers is a junior. You know what I'm saying? So there's somebody else that got my name. That's my pops.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? But also, I want everybody to know that I'm a servant first, a father second. You know what I mean? And everything else after that. God is everything. God is above all. You know what I'm saying? He is all. And that's why I live to serve. That's why I live to you know what I mean, magnify, you know what I mean, and everything that I do, you know what I'm saying, as far as, music, business, family, everything.
Man. So God is all through that thing.
All up and in it, man. I can't go a minute or a second without him, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I gotta have him.
Okay, so when did that come into play, man? Were you born into Christ? Were you born into the Holy Bible? Or was it something you had to wake up to, like, whoa, God, thank you?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was born into it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to find Christ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody else. So even if you're born into it, there still comes a moment, you know what I'm saying, in time where you got to find them for yourself.
Say that.
You know what I mean? So, I wasn't born into it, you know what I mean? Pops didn't start off as a preacher, you know what I mean? Although he is now.
Hey.
You know, I got a side of the family that go to church just on Sunday, you know what I'm saying? If I'm keeping it real.
Okay.
But I wasn't born into it. I had to find Christ. I found Christ when, mid-teens, you know what I mean? Honest, and stuck with it all the way up until now, you know what I mean? So, and I'm 33 now, so that should give you a good, strong timeline, you know what I'm saying?
Facts. And so the relationship you have with him now, I'm sure is stronger than it was when you were a teen.
Oh, yeah.
And so when it comes to like your awareness of like, man, God really answers prayer, when did that come into effect for you?
I want to say that came into effect. No, I can say that came into effect when I hit about 18, 19. I was wilding, you know what I'm saying? I was living double standardly, as the scriptures would say, you know what I'm saying? But in real life, I was one way in the streets. Okay. You know what I mean? And I kept that other part of my life, you know what I mean? That part of my life away from my parents who,
tucked off.
You know what I mean? Who raised me to be an honest and integral person, you know what I'm saying? And which I am, you know what I mean? It's just, I had some ways that I had to get about, but I found out God had, answers prayers, you know what I'm saying? When my son was born, he's 13 now. He was born in 2007, January 28th. His birthday's coming up in a couple of days.
Okay. And your wife just celebrated her birthday this month.
And my wife just had her birthday.
Hey.
Shouts out to my baby. My son was coming into this world, man, and I was living a life of crime. I hadn't been caught yet. I wasn't doing anything too major. Just hitting licks and not being too honest as I was brought up to be. I found out my son was coming into this world, and I went to God in prayer. I went to the altar. It was a youth night right after he was born, and I told God, like, legit in these words. I said, "Look, you gave me a son. I don't know why, because I'm the least responsible person right now, but I need you to help me out. Make me responsible, make me mature, and whatever you say, I'll do from this point on." You know what I mean? And that's what it was from that point on. Literally every dream that I've had, God has blessed me with because I kept my side of the prayer. You know what I'm saying? I told him that I would dedicate myself to going back to church like I was brought up to be, and I would dedicate myself to the scriptures, and you know what I mean, God is he's a man of his word. You know what I mean, I could say that. So
absolutely,
that's
man.
how I found out God answers prayers. You know what I mean? That's how I found out that he talked back.
Talk about that, man. And so you born and raised in Vegas?
Born and raised.
Talk about it, man.
I come from the north side of Vegas. That's what I rep tough. You know, that's my side of the city, from the freeway at Cheyenne and Civic Center, all the way, you know, that way, you know, the old north, not the new north, you know what I'm saying, but the old north.
North
you know?
town, not North Las Vegas.
Exactly.
Talk to me.
Now, I mean,
how was it? How was it?
Bro,
Because you ended up hitting licks.
Bro, it's...
So what happened?
Man, look, that's the life, that's what I seen modeled, you know what I mean, in front of me when I was a young one. You know what I mean? You want to get paid, you want to get money fast, you know what I mean? You got to run packs, you got to hit licks and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't do nothing too much crazy, but I was running up in people's houses.
Right.
I was being dishonest.
Yeah.
I was stealing and, you know what I mean? And, you know, robbing people, whatnot, gang banging. But man, look, that life,
but God,
that life was all right. But God, but you know, being raised in the north, down the street, Cold Harbor, all of them streets up in there, you know what I mean? Just seeing the lives that were modeled in front of me, you know what I mean? From the gangs that was in that area and the people that ran them, you know what I mean? I know a lot of them, you know, and just seeing their example of what they thought, you know, a man should be.
Right.
I mean, that's what I ran after.
Right.
Until I got sat down by God, you know what I mean, and moved out of the north, and I was placed with pops a lot more because the way mom seen it. You know what I mean? You know, you're a young man now.
Yeah.
You know, early teens, going into mid-teens, you need to be with him more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and my pop, like, man, I really, honestly, sincerely praise and thank God for him, because without him, bro, I wouldn't be sitting right here. Tell you that right now.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that's in the natural. You know what I mean? So on the spiritual side of things, you know, my pop's over here, my heavenly father. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, going before everything that my pops was, you know, teaching me at that point. At this point, my pops had just found God. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I had to do everything he was doing, cleaning the church, you know, prayer on Friday nights, Bible study on Wednesday nights. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a complete life change.
Coming from little to no church at all to being, you know, going over his house more, you know what I mean? Because they split the custody thing. You know how that go. Yeah, man, it was a complete flip from street almost every day to now it's church every day. Mm-hmm. I mean, so I was the knucklehead in the back, you know, in the pews and trying to talk to females and all that stuff. But Pop had a strong hand, you know what I mean? And he was watching. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I couldn't, you know, cut up too much. Yeah. So, you know, all glory to God for him.
Come on, man.
But yeah, man.
That's wild, bro. Cause I understand that all the way. Yep. You could just said it right there on the end. Thank you. And that's my beautiful wife. Thank you so much for bringing me that, man. So with that being said, man, talk about the life that you live now and how exciting it is, because a lot of people may not understand that. They may think that being a Christian life is boring. Being a follower of Christ is boring. But bro, you got some bonuses cracking around here. Talk about it, man.
Man, the Christian life, you know what I mean, to everybody that ain't saved, you know what I'm saying, all those listeners right now, the Christian life is far from boring. It's far from a life of timidity and being in seclusion and being ducked off. It's most definitely a life that is put on blast every day that you wake up. Everything that you do it's seen, if you will. The Christian life is not a life for people who are passive, people who would just get by with that passive aggressive nature. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You most definitely got to have a certain kind of boldness to be a follower of Christ, because that's what Christian means, right? Mm-hmm. But this Christian life, for me anyway, and how it's not boring, God took me from, like I said, knucklehead in the street to church boy to now entrepreneur. I do not have a 9-to-5. I actually currently right now own a private security company called Maximum Security and Investigations.
Facts.
That's day up, sun up, sun down. That's every day, day in and day out.
25/8.
You know what I mean? There's no rest in that industry per se. But but when I get the chance to turn that off, I'm a father 24. 20. What would you say? 24/8.
25/8. Yeah.
25/8. I'm a husband 25/8.
Right.
And I serve in my church very, 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 very devoutly. I don't like saying religiously because I'm not devoutly.
Yeah. So wait, I want you to speak to that. Right. The Christian life is not boring.
Not hardly.
Talk about that a little bit for me. You continue to build it.
It's a different kind of excitement. And for me, I mean, I think a lot like Michael. When you were in the street, you got your rush from that edge, from doing stuff and getting away with it, from that buzz you got. I mean, I can remember like being on the run because somebody gonna put a beating on you, and then you were hiding out and jumping in unlocked cars and stuff, and just trying to be on the DL, and you trade that for a different kind of excitement. You trade that for the excitement that comes from doing good things and from investing. And this is the thing I tell a lot of people who aren't saved who are talking about it. It's about investing in yourself. Getting in concert with God is the best investment you can make in yourself because it reaps rewards bigger than you can even imagine in terms of being calm, being at peace, understanding who you are. And it lets you then go out in the world and meet people and talk to people and do things that you would have never thought of doing before. So the excitement sees from seeing your good works put to use and seeing other people benefit from seeing something you did instead of dropping 2 dime bags on somebody and knowing you made a couple bucks. You know, it's you got it. And when you get in that mindset and you look back, and I don't know, I'm curious what Michael would say, but I look back and I think, what was wrong with? What was I thinking, man? Lord have mercy. And then I knew that God was really looking out for me because I should have been, gone. I should have been taken out by, and I got missed. Other people went away for, 2 dimes, 2 dimes. I was there and never got, or other people got shot, killed, or worse than killed. They're alive, but all messed up the rest of their life. And I didn't. Why? Not because I'm lucky, because God had a plan for me. I just didn't know it at the time.
Exactly.
Now, for you, man, I want to know about your leadership, right? You go to Bread of Life.
Yes, Bread of Life Ministries of His Glory. Shouts out to my man of God, Pastor Simi Richards.
Hey, Simi. Simi's great.
Yes, that's my spiritual pops here in the secular world. Shouts out to Mother Evangelist Bessie Richards. Those are my leaders, man. Shouts out to my young adult pastors, Brother Beckton Donaldson, Sister Nikki Donaldson. That's my bro and sis, man.
For sure.
I've always seen and heard, people having relationships with people that didn't come from their parents, and they be like, bro, like, this is my brother. But I real talk, when it come to my bro Beck and my sister Nikki, bro, you can't tell me nothing, bro. Like that.
Blood couldn't make you closer, man.
Couldn't make us closer, bro. I just told him a couple weeks ago, I was like, bro, you realize, like, if I was still in the streets, like, some people would disappear, if they had a problem with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause, I wouldn't be the one to do.
But it's love, though. The love that you have.
Exactly.
I feel that.
But yeah, Bread of Life Ministries of His Glory. That's where I serve at. I'm right up under my man of God, and that's.
Tell me about the music, though. When did you become a Christian hip hop artist?
I didn't start off that way. Okay. I was the lunch table rapper. Okay. I was the hustler that could take a girl and make more money than you. You know what I mean? Even though we little kids in school.
Right.
But that's what I was. I came to Christ. When I came to Christ, about 15 years old, I had stopped rapping. I had stopped rapping for at least a year and a half. I'm talking about turn the beats off. You know what I mean? I'm not going to studios or anything like that no more. But then it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was in church one night. It was a pastoral anniversary celebration. And it was like, all right, we're going to have a rap done by Brother Mike Chambers. And my heart dropped because I thought they was talking about me. But then my pop had got up. Right. My pop, the dude I thought, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, back then I thought he was like, yo, you a square now. You mean you rapping? So he got up there and he did a song called The Heart of a Shepherd. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to tell him, find those lyrics so, we can do something with it. But the way that God showed me how he can use that gift inspired me like beyond words, bro.
Wow.
I can't even express all of the feelings. I'm not even sure if there are words that can describe how I felt that night. And when I seen my pop minister in song, like David, like the scriptures say that, when David ministered with the harp and things of that sort, you know what I mean? And one point in time, David had, in scriptures say he broke out into a dance where his clothes had ripped off. I didn't understand it until I seen the embodiment that Pop, put on that time he ministered that night, and how it made him cry through the song, and how everybody was moved by his words. You know what I mean? I had no idea that God can do that, and I say, yo, God, that's what I'm gonna do.
And now I see why you be like, put that Junior on that.
That's exactly why.
Hey, put that Junior on that.
That's exactly why. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Because God ordained it. He blessed it. You know what I'm saying? I had, it's like in, when you're trying to move back in the day, whatever, you got to ask your old heads. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, is this cool? So I went to my pastor. I went to Pops. I went to my young adult pastor at that time who was leading the young adult, the teenage ministry back then, and everybody gave me the green light, and I literally, just went home and just started writing. I would read, and then I would write. I would read, and then I would write. And that's how I started. I was like 15 years old, rapping on the corner. You know what I mean? I went back to school that Monday after the pastoral anniversary, and everybody yelled, "Yo, Mike, get on the table. We about to rap."
Yeah.
And I'm spitting, I'm spitting scriptures. Everybody looking at me sideways, like, like, wow. Hey, yo, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
It's not accepted.
What are you doing? Like, chill out. Like, are you serious right now? So it's like,
I couldn't imagine that.
Bro,
I never experienced that in high school.
Bro.
A Christian rapper at the lunch table.
At the lunch table, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to look back. I don't remember that. That's you. So you that dude.
I was that dude.
I don't know what I would have said. I'd have been like, "Hey man, chill out. He dope though." Like, but I probably
man, everybody, the rappers were shocked. They didn't really say anything, but the crowd was like, "Bro, like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I'll admit, at that point, I didn't have the courage to, like, you know what I mean, be like,
stand up to it. Yeah.
This is Christ, and this is what I'm about. So I just took an L that day, and I just walked off.
Yeah.
I just walked off. But
if nobody said anything, you just took an L because of the response, the lack thereof.
Mm-hmm. It was the lack.
More people were kind of confused.
Yeah.
More so than taking the L. So I think it's just like, I think you probably touched a heartstring on them teens that night, that day at lunch. You feel me?
I know.
Now that I look back on what you saying,
now that you say it,
it's like,
probably so.
We so at that age used to sinning.
Mm-hmm. We used to sin, and we used to.
It's okay. We encourage it.
At that age, you're coming into your identity of who you trying to be.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So the time from elementary up until that point, you see what's being done in front of you. Mm-hmm. Now you doing what's been done in front of you.
Yeah.
Now somebody your age coming to you like your grandpa would at that time, like, yo, that's sin. Chill out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not gonna be cool.
My wife always.
You didn't already live through it.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me live.
Right. Exactly. I've been there, done that, bought that T-shirt, got that hat. It's just, man.
That's real.
But glory be to God. My wife always said, like, she don't understand how I have the tenacity or the courage to just put up with and just go through stuff. Like I'm always like, all right, it is what it is. We got to go through it. You know what I mean? So I had that. Obviously, I had that mentality as young. I got that from Pop.
Yeah.
It's either you put up, shut up.
Yeah.
You don't like it, change your situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that moment, hey, this is who I am now. You know what I mean? I've never been the type to fake. I'm just tell you that now, other than not telling my parents how I really was living.
Right, of course.
But yeah, hey, this is who I am now.
Let me before we go into commercial, right? I want to get into that for a couple minutes. What did that feel like? Did you had to say something? Did you get caught? Was it shame attached to that? Like, what does that feel like when you can't be honest with your parents about something that you've done? It's your life, but ultimately you got their last name. You theirs. So what was that like in that moment? Because you did speak on that again, and I think that's a heavy time in your life. Probably.
It was a very, very heavy time, and the way it came out, I'll probably get into that after the commercial. But
okay,
it's like you're part of this organization, right? Mm-hmm. And can't nobody know about it but you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm the oldest on both sides of the family, my mom's side and my pop's side. So I have.
As far as cousins or?
As far as my siblings.
Okay.
My cousins, there's probably like a 3 to 5 year gap, age difference as far as my cousins that are older than me. Mm-hmm. But as far as my generation, I'm one of 3, okay. But behind me there's probably about 6 to 8 siblings.
Okay.
So if I come out, you know what I mean, as the person that I am right now, like what I'm really doing when I'm saying I'm going to go hoop and stuff like that.
Right. Not
only will I have to face that with my parents, now I got to face that with my little brothers and little sisters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm out here talking any old kind of way to these females trying to get what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That comes out to my sisters. What kind of example would that put on for them?
Yeah.
Our pop and moms always taught me to remember, you're responsible for your actions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But there's also people watching you.
Yeah.
I mean, so that was my mindset. I was like, it felt like I'm a part of this secret organization. And if it comes out, the world is going to end. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because not only do I have to deal with breaking my mom's heart because I'm following a path that enslaved, you know what I'm saying, her brother, my cousins, the ones that are in her generation. But I also got to deal with the disappointment as well as whatever consequences or repercussions is coming from Pop's way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm not ready to tell y'all what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? But God had other plans. So you know what I mean, to hear that plan, you got to tune in.
All right, let's take a break real quick, and then when we get back, we're gonna play some of your songs. Let's do it.
Very good.
Yo, we back. Hot Seat with IC Jonez right here on Room Service Radio. You already know what it is, man. Listen, got Mike Chambers Jr. in the building. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Get his mic.
Hey,
There we go. He in the building. He in the building.
They never couldn't hear me. Shoot.
All right, so look, man, I want to hear this song, man. God Vibe.
God Vibe.
God Vibe.
Yes, sir.
Hashtag God Vibe. All right, what's the name of the project?
It's this a 3-part single project called Kairos. Kairos is let me get this right. Kairos in the scriptures, when you break down the definition of it, it means a moment in time where the supernatural meets the natural.
Talk about it.
And this is I'm no way in trying to say that my lyrics and me as a person are the crossing, the intersection of the supernatural meeting the natural. But what I am talking about in my lyrics, which is the word of God, listening to these lyrics and applying them the best way you know how, that's where you get your Kairos moment.
That's the but God situation, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's it. It's nobody but God in that right there.
Exactly.
In that crossing. And I try to live in that crossing every day, bro.
Man,
for real.
Hey, talk about it, bro. That's the beast part of living this Christian life.
Right. That's facts, bro.
You know what I mean?
So let's do it, man. What's the name of this track? God Vibe?
All right. So this is the second song on the 3-part single.
Yeah.
It's called God Vibe.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Remnant season. Remnant. Hey. Ever wonder what a real vibe feel like? What? It's one that'll have you lifted and grounded. So high. All at the same time. So high. Remnants know what I'm talking about. I'm so high. I'm so Let me talk my talk. So high. It's a vibe for your soul. With a life full of that food. Come get you a plate full. Build up strength for that wood. I care everywhere that I go. Watch God work with the tool. Surgical with every move. Right out all over your soul. There's that widow man, turn mercy man. Beat in my chest, cried on myself, cause I ain't deserving of the love you put before me. Blatantly my darkness be swerving like a madman. 4815 down the interstate. Oh, this light too lit to keep under bushel. Oh, Mark 9-2, not at all, man, to keep it crucial. Oh, switch up with this, stop surfing with just your lips. Add heart and soul to the mix. Get with a guy like this, catch a vibe like this, catch a vibe like this. Yeah, I feel like Jesus did before he died. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. God vibe. I feel like Jesus did before he died. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. God vibe. Who do they say that I am? Who do they say that I am? Simply Elijah, John the Baptist, Jeremiah. Really just one of them prophets? No. But when you catch a vibe, you see that he's Christ, the Son of the living God. Your promises came about, built on top of Peter, now we'll be spilling out. Yeah, now I flex with my business because of your contentions that don't see no praises. You sold out for that A-list. Conform to this world's ways, you surely die. Or catch a vibe, trust to live inside the Son of God. Vibing like this, make you go hard, make you go in, yeah. No mercy at Lago, but he put mercy on all of my friends, yeah. God vibe forces the hands of the unrighteous man to move on our behalf. No matter the loss, we'll get it right back, we'll get it right back. I feel like Jesus did before he died. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. God vibe. I feel like Jesus did before he died. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. God vibe. This guy's breath on dry bones. Life lit like ozones. Trying to knock them out like Rome. Then get back to my home. They hover my bar alone. You elevate when you alone. You thinking I'm biting you wrong. You can't fast and be a biter, no. But you study how he presented. That's an honor and roll. Then you seek the Lord, pray it hot, catch a fire, bro. Then the gift will make room. That's a promise, yo, believe me. Whoa, my life is better with the Lord now. I ain't scared of death, matter of fact, bring the guns out. Walking out prophetic dreams, I ain't never took this route. Christ said, follow me, and I ain't finna turn around, I mean that now. I feel like Jesus did before he died. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. God vibe. I feel like Jesus did before he died. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. God vibe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
God vibe.
sir.
God vibe. Hashtag God vibe. Go
Hashtag
get it,
God
man.
vibe.
Mike
God vibe.
Chambers Jr. Chambers Jr. It's a 3-track. It's dope.
Yes.
We about to go into another song.
Called EMP.
EMP. Is that an explosive?
Yeah, so you look it up anywhere, you know what I'm saying? EMP is a button, you know what I mean, or a trigger mechanism. You hit it, it shuts down everywhere in a certain radius.
Okay.
So you know, this is my I guess you could say note to the people of God.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Let's live our life like an EMP.
Okay.
You understand? By way of the Holy Spirit.
All right, give me the verse in the chorus of that one, or you know how I work from the intro through the verse to the chorus, and then we're gonna go back into a little bit of the interview, and then we're gonna go to Deacon T's hot topics.
Yes,
but I
sir.
got some more questions for you, though, man.
Nah, hey, I'm ready.
Hey, but I need everybody to go download Kairos by Mike Chambers Jr. Follow him on social media. All right, let's go.
I tell you about someone who colder than me. He went to hell and took the keys. Then took the cross and get G. Now all of his children we free. Yeah. Bro said hop on the beat. I'ma just do a Nike. Kicking the devil Bruce Lee. We just got way too much heat. Shush. I have no perimeters. My life will change at the temperatures. Yours is just stuck in the mood. I'm a butler with a flow that's so edible. It's holy, unholy, and brackets. So brackets after this remnants have to level up. Only cause I'm purple biblical. With a focus way higher than usual. Trust, I'm really not into you. Riding with the one that made the moves. Jesus keep my favorite tangible. There's a lot of preachers out here that's full of bull. Their relationship empty but calendar full. Missing the principle used in the school. You would say lost if you don't look for proof. Body yourself and live in the new. There it go. Ay, we live and lit it again. Turn up with the praying hands. Remnants don't fear any man. You cannot touch down in my zone. That's why you hover like drones. Epoch all up in my time zone. No, wire in my phone. Rubber everything that's not liking. Change up the door with no likings. Get out my way when I'm driving. The spirit of God is in front of me. My family is all on the side of me. They lock the doors when we be riding. I know the truth, you cannot lie to me. It's tattooed all on the heart of me. I'll tell you about someone who colder than me. He went to hell and took the keys, and then took the cross to get G. Now all of his children we free.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
He rapping.
right
He
now.
rapping. He ain't just yapping. He rapping.
Glory to God.
Tell me, man.
What's up? My wife, 7, is when we ain't start dating until April 9th, 2008.
April 9th, 2008.
Yep.
And then you got married when?
I got married May 17th, 2013.
13. Why you look at me like that?
I could drop times because I know she's watching.
Get the dates right, man. Get all that timing right.
Man,
Or it'll be a cold day.
Hey, look,
You know?
look, you like, okay, I got that. Yep,
Absolutely.
and I got that too. Nah, so
Yes, sir.
tell me from the time you met her to the time you married her, like, what was those feelings like? Like, what did you do to say, let me marry this woman? Like, did God wake you up? Did he knock you upside your head? What happened?
Man, life happened to me as an individual, and Yeah, I lost a significant person in my life, and I was getting evicted out of apartment, and pretty much was homeless for a second. But she stayed true. She stayed with me. You know what I mean? I ain't have a lot of money starting off, and there was a time while we were dating where I ain't had no money, but she stayed with me. She was true. That's why that through her where I learned the definition of loyalty. You know what I mean? I seen loyalty. Well, what the streets would describe as loyalty. I even seen what the church even describes what loyalty is.
Say that.
But in her, I believe with my whole heart, and this is no faking, no flossing, none of that. But I believe with my whole heart, like it's through her that I learned the definition of loyalty. Right. That's where I made the choice. Like, okay, at this point in time, like I just got my job, but I'm about to save up and make it happen. You know what I mean? So, it's through her that I learned loyalty. It's through her that I learned how to love myself. You know what I mean? It's through her. You know what I mean? We're a lot alike, but we're two different persons.
Of course.
You know what I mean? This is me. You know what I mean? The lights and the microphone and all that stuff and serving people. You know what I mean? She serves as well, but she takes the behind the scene approach.
Yeah.
She don't want you to know where it came from. She wants you to know that God, blessed you. Right. You know what I mean? It ain't how, even if it comes to her, it ain't, that's not that's not it. Right. The thing is that God was mindful of you. Yeah. Here you go. Yeah. You know what I mean? My wife is a real one, bro. Shout out to Shar.
Absolutely, man. She support the music too.
Man,
behind it.
Shoot, she supported more than I do.
How do you are you guys in business together, or is this your company?
We are in business together.
And how does that work for you and your wife?
It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard.
I mean, talk to the entrepreneurs out there.
Man, hey,
talk
you
to
go
them.
in business. Hey, listen to me clearly, entrepreneurs.
He had to censor himself for this one,
bro. Entrepreneurs. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. You might not know me, but listen to me as your brother right now. You going in business with your significant other. Make sure y'all know what y'all personal relationship is before y'all start a business relationship. Make the lines. Make the Hey, when it comes to the money, don't ask me nothing. Or when it comes to this, don't hey, just trust me on this. And y'all gotta have that trust, that honor, and that respect and that loyalty with before y'all do the business.
Trust, honor, respect, loyalty.
You got to, because there's some real life, real weird people in the world. You know what I'm saying? And some people feel like they can have any person that they meet. You know what I mean? If they feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And if you and your significant other, you and your wife, or you and your husband, sis, if y'all don't have that boundary or that knowing in y'all relationship that when he goes off by himself, I ain't tripping. Right. If y'all don't have that, don't go into business together. Right. Y'all don't want to do that. Right. Just think of him starting his business. Just think of him going to work. He gonna come home at a certain time. Just ask your questions. Keep y'all relationship, keep that good. But when it come to his business, like, just let him do his business, bring the bacon and stuff home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't be oblivious, but what I am saying is, of course, if y'all don't know y'all selves and y'all relationship, if y'all not comfortable and confident in y'all relationship, love, respect, loyalty, honesty, if y'all don't have that, y'all cannot. And I repeat, y'all cannot and will not be able to do business together
and flourish. And so, with that, you gotta obviously keep God first in that too.
Obviously, but that's a must.
But even that sometimes can get blurry, because if you're not waking up praying together, y'all ain't waking up putting these goals together, speaking over each other. A lot of that stuff you just said is gonna be blurry as hell,
bro. Blurry, not even the word. It's gonna be distorted beyond. It's gonna be distorted beyond recognition. But it's like this. Look, all right. Well, let me explain. I can only talk on myself because I know myself, right? So me and my wife started businesses, right? She started hers before me started mine with her mother-in-law.
Yes.
Then I came out of corporate America and started my security company with my experience and credentials and stuff like that.
Yes.
It wasn't until my entity was created where I was putting everything together, and I'm like, dog, I can't do all of this by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who in this world do I trust the most? Who I know ain't gonna try to, because before I started my business, I knew business owners, and I seen their lives, you know what I'm saying, play out with people that, with their significant other that didn't trust them, significant other who had wandering eyes, and you know what I mean, or the owner who had wandering eyes, you know what I mean, and the significant other was trusting to the point where she was oblivious, and he just out doing whatever, you know what I mean. So I went to my wife and I asked her, and I was honest. I'm like, do you want to help me run this? She told me, no.
No. Right.
Because you don't listen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we had to work through that or whatnot. But most definitely, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep God at the center, because I'm speaking from experience. That will get thrown out the window real quick when you're trying to do business, especially with your significant other. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like, you supposed to have my back. Like, what you talking about? Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, you can't do this. What do you mean I can't do this? I'm the head. Like, don't talk to me. What do you? No, don't do that. We're not
all of those. Right, and then it's like, well, I get it. I understand. I'm not even gonna go there. But I love the words you put out there. Everything you were saying is true. And ultimately, they still got to navigate themselves. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But this is some good jewels from a person who's running the company. How long you been having Maximum Security? Maximum Security has been on this earth for 3 years and 3 months. Look at that. Look at my guy. Look at my guy. Look at my guy. Yeah, I mean, hey, IC, man, he knew me when I was just 9 to 5 coming up in the whole, you know, Christian hip hop arena. He could tell you firsthand, like, it wasn't always like this. No, not at all. So where can they call, or how can they get a hold of you for security? Yes, sir. If you need security for your business or residential or whatnot, you can reach me at phone number. Well, you can reach Maximum Security and Investigations at phone number 702-485-2003. That's Maximum Security and Investigations, MSI for short. We are located off of Desert Inn and Eastern at 2755 East Desert Inn Road, Suite 180. That's Las Vegas, Nevada, 89121. You can also email me at Chambers, my last name, how it sounds, .maximum, the first name of my business, at iCloud.com. You shoot me an email, and it'll most likely be me or my partner, Devin Walker, who will call you and establish a meetup or whatever it is that you're seeking. We do armed, unarmed guard service. We do courtesy patrol, bodyguard service, you name it. We're here and to investigations. Serve. Investigations, if I'm all the way honest, we do investigations, but my license hasn't cleared yet, so I don't necessarily promote that at this time. But hopefully, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming at the top of this year, probably around like March, I want to say. I already know. You know what I mean? We about to get into Deacon T's hot topics, yes, but before you exit out of here, man, make sure you stick around for this picture we're gonna take. Make sure you stick around for his good word. He always got a good word. I'm here. But check this out. You are a musician. I am. And an owner. I am. So I want them to go get your music. Okay. All right. So tell them where to go follow you at, man. You can follow me. I am literally on IG every day right now. I'm fasting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm only on IG for maybe an hour and a half. But you can find me on IG, Facebook, Twitter at I Am Mike Jr. Official. It's I Am Mike Jr. Official on everything. You can find me on SoundCloud at I Am Mike Jr. That you'll find everything there. I've been rapping since I was 15, but recording music since as early as 2003. And you can find a lot of my material there on SoundCloud. I'm about to spark off a YouTube page, and I'm about to post all my music there. It'll be YouTube / I Am Mike Jr. Official. That's IAMMIKEJROFFICIAL. That's it. That's it. Deacon T, what's happening, man?
Hey, here's a word for the day for me. and it relates to this inauguration this week.
Uh-oh.
And, if you check in the Bible, we are supposed to respect and pay honor to our leaders. And whether or not you are a fan of the new leadership or not, you have a responsibility, A, biblically, and B, as a citizen of the United States, to act right. Okay? And I don't need to get into what act right means, because if I do, shame on you. Okay? It ain't even shame on nothing else. We need to come together as a people here. This nonsense that has gone on too long. People don't have the basic essentials of life. They're struggling out here. Before COVID ever happened, COVID just made it worse. And anybody who doesn't think it affects the minority community worse than the non-minority community is uneducated. I'm sorry. You need help to get educated. We need to come together and help each other out. We need to respect this new guy and give him a chance to mess up. He gonna mess up. Okay? I ain't saying I'm the guy's biggest fan. What I'm saying is he is owed our respect. And we need to listen to this dude and what he's putting together and give it a chance to come together. Hey, I couldn't find nobody that liked the previous guy. Okay? So, hey, you got a new guy. Already I've heard some people talking about, well, I'm like, man, dude, they hadn't been in there like 45 minutes. Give them a break. It is biblically rooted that we are to follow our duly elected and appointed officials, whether that's at church, in the family, honoring your father, or in the government, or whatever that is. Absolutely. Okay? And I said in my little message the other day, you know what? If you don't like what's going on, and I don't, okay? If you don't like what's going on, get mad. I did not say get violent. I said get mad.
Yeah.
Look in the dictionary, they're different.
Yes, sir.
Mad is an internal thing. Violence is where I act out. Okay? I do not subscribe to by any means necessary. I understand the concept, but we need to work this system. I know the system doesn't work great. Point 2. Just because Deacon T don't look like you, newsflash, don't mean I can't talk on this stuff. There's a whole bunch of, and I'm just going to say it, white churches and white leaders in churches who don't want to address civil rights and human dignity. And they don't want to do it because they're afraid they're going to lose membership. I'm going to tell you, I'm more afraid of not doing what God wants me to do than I am of losing a couple of members.
Yes, sir.
Not that I don't love the members. That ain't the point. I believe that as leaders in our churches, in our families, at our job, wherever you're a leader in something. We have a responsibility to not be okay with stuff that ain't right. And just because you got okay, and you were fortunate, and you're a brother who got an education and got a job and making good money, for God's sake, even more responsibility on you to put back. Same with me. The fact that I ain't black don't mean nothing. I'm a human being here, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm a human being, check it out, who got black children. I don't want my children to have to hear mess like this 20 years from now. So I want to inspire everybody out there listening today. This all comes straight out of the Bible, but I'm telling you, as people, it's time we start celebrating how we alike, not how we different. The beauty of our life is celebrating these differences. Is getting in groups where people don't look like you, think like you, aren't male, aren't female, where it's this whole messed up milkshake of people. When the commonality of everybody comes together, the core of which is in Jesus Christ. Amen? Amen.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. That's a hot topic right there.
Yes, sir.
For real, for real. So, man, I appreciate it, man. This is what we do. We're going to be here every Friday. This is the spot to be at, man. And, yeah. Digging to you like it?
I love it.
You love it.
Very comfortable. A little bit warm. A little warm in there.
We can turn it down.
A little warm.
We can turn it down. I feel. How you feel?
I was getting a
Man,
fire.
I feel
on me.
good, man. I feel great. I feel
Okay, that's because you got hot. You got that word. You got that word. Man, so yeah, man. We about to do our next special guest. Give me about 5 minutes. And to get it together, Neighborhood 6 is in the building, y'all. You know, he be doing that give back, man, and doing his music and just representing the youngsters out there. So we got him coming up next, but we not going to forget about who we got right now. Mike Chambers Jr. was in the building today, man. Anything else you want to tell the people? Matter of fact, you give them a word real quick, man. Talk to the people, the married people, the people with kids. I don't know, the believer who's struggling. Talk to somebody out there. What the word got?
Look.
Give me 3 minutes, hot 3 minutes.
Look, God gave this to me a couple of days ago, literally a couple of days ago, and I'm still eating on it. When you say Jesus take the wheel and he do it, don't do it to be chauffeured. Do it to be guided.
Hello.
Woo!
When you say Jesus take the wheel and he do it, don't do it to be chauffeured. Do it to be guided. It ain't about you. Like Deacon T said, we all human beings. We all children of God. Let's do that. Let's be that.
100, man. Thank you. Once again, Hot Seat with IC Jonez. Hey, that was a word on top of a word, man. I appreciate that. And, we're going to go to break. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm going to come back with Neighborhood 6, and we're going to make it happen. I need y'all to go follow Deacon T LV on Instagram. Go follow I Am Mike Jr. Official on Instagram. And, of course, Hot Seat with IC Jonez. We here and we live. Be back in a minute. You already know what it is, man. We here from 12 to 2 every Friday. Let's go.
Sure.